G'day, it's Austin. I'm 24 years old, and over the past 5 years, I've made over $25 million in revenue with many different online businesses, and millions of that being profit. And in this video, I want to share the 7 things that if I could go back to myself 5 years ago, what I would tell him to help him get further ahead than where I am right now. And this is for you if you're starting with online business, or you feel stuck, or you feel like no matter how much you push and try, you're unable to hit the targets that you set. I've been there, I know how you feel, so let me share these 7 lessons. The first one is understanding that it will take longer than you think. I saw my goals the other day for when I was just starting with online business. I was 18, 19 at the time, and I was looking at the goals that I set, and I just started business, And my goal for the month after was to be at 100K in revenue. 100K, I had no experience, I hadn't done this before. I was like, you know what? Through sheer force and action, I'm gonna get to 100K in revenue next month. Now, I don't know what kind of delusion I had back then, thinking I could go from complete beginner to 100K a month in revenue in 30 days with zero experience or skills that I knew how to market at the time. It didn't work. And so what I would go back and tell myself is that it's gonna take longer than you think. You're going to make mistakes along the way. You're gonna probably try a lot of different online business models until you find the one that you're really meant to do. Now, a really cool story about this is I had a mentor, and I'd chat with him every month or so. And it was the 13th or 14th time we're speaking. So we've been working together for over a year. And at the start of every call that we would do, he'd always ask me about 2 different businesses I was running. One was my agency, and one was an e-commerce brand that I was running at the time, a dropshipping store. And we'd start the call, he'd ask me about the agency, I'd tell him the revenue, I'd tell him the profit, and then he's like, cool, well, how much time is this taking you a month? And I said, oh, literally all my time. I spend all my time on this. And then we talked about the e-commerce brand, revenue, profit, which was getting up there, starting to almost creep above the agency. So how much time are you spending on this? I think I spent an hour last week on this business. It's just not taking up much of my time. And then at that point, he's like, we need to get you playing the sport you were made to play. And so what I'd go back and tell myself is that it's going to take time. It's going to take time before you figure out what that right business model is for you, and the one that suits you and is going to allow you to achieve that financial freedom. And it's going to probably take a bit more time than you think. That hyper ambitious 19-year-old, 18-year-old that I was, thinking I was going to make 100K in revenue next month, when I was literally at 0. I was just starting. I'd go back and tell him that that's great, aim for the stars, go for it. But just realize it's probably going to take a little bit longer than you think. The second thing I'd tell myself is that you'll fail before you succeed. With these different business models I was trying, it did take me longer than I expected to get where I wanted to be. But also it took me a lot of failures along the way. Not just in business models, but also within business models. When I stumbled across e-commerce, I tried 13 different products before I found one that started to give me scaling potential and allowed me to have my first bit of financial freedom. And I did fail before I succeeded. I failed many times with different business models, but every time I learned something, I got better from it. And so I was able to achieve the next goal a bit more quickly. I was able to accomplish the next target I set for myself a little bit easier, because I kept failing and I kept figuring out and I kept learning. And so the second thing I'd go and tell myself is that you'll fail before you succeed. And don't be scared to call it quits on a particular project or product or business. Don't worry, it's okay. This is part of it. And if it was so easy, everyone would be rich. If everyone succeeded the first time round, then everyone would be loaded. But that's just not how it goes. And I'd go and tell myself that you'll fail before you succeed. And that's okay. The third thing I'd tell myself is that if it was easy, everyone would be rich. I had this fallacy when I was first starting with online business. I saw these people online that were doing so well for themselves at such a young age, and they made it look so effortless and simple. And now I understand why, because at the time they were trying to sell courses and coaching, so they wanted to make it look effortless and simple, like anyone could do it, and it was super easy. But the reality is that regardless of the business model that you choose, it's not going to be easy. It might be a simple process to follow. There's a very big difference there. It might be a simple recipe to follow, a series of steps that are proven to get you to your end goals. But it's not going to be easy to do those. It's going to require work. It's going to require sacrifice, and it's going to require probably a lot more time, like I mentioned before, than what you think it will. But maturing with entrepreneurship and building an online business is realizing that if it was easy, then everyone would be rich. And that's what makes it so valuable and worthwhile, is the fact that it's rare. The fact that not everyone has that level of financial freedom. And that makes the juice worth the squeeze. It makes everything that you do worth it. So that's why when it feels challenging, when it gets tricky, when you feel like throwing in the towel, that's exactly the moment that you shouldn't and you need to push through, because that's the moment where everyone gives up. The fourth thing I'd go back and tell myself is that the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. All of these different business models that you see can give you financial freedom. If you learn from someone that is in the position that you want to be in and they've laid out the steps to follow, you can get there too. It may take more time than them, it may take more struggle, it may take more effort, whatever the case may be, but you can get there. And one of the things I failed to realize early in my journey is that hopping between different online business models is not going to get me to where I want to go. I need to pick one, I need to focus on it, because the grass isn't greener over on an SMMA. The grass isn't greener over on a dropshipping store. The grass isn't greener over in crypto. You just need to pick one thing and focus on it. The grass isn't greener on the other side. It's all the same. You just need to focus on watering that patch. You need to focus on one business model, and that's going to get you where you want to go so much more quickly. And yes, you'll struggle, and yes, it'll feel difficult, and yes, it'll feel challenging, but that's how every business model feels at the start. That's how it always feels. That's how it feels when you ride the bike for the first time. You don't know what you're doing, and that's the point. So just focus on one thing and stick with it. The fifth thing I tell myself is that the work just needs doing. No, the results aren't hidden behind having this ridiculous morning routine, elaborate with 10 steps and takes you 3 hours. No, the results and everything you want in life is on the other side of the work. It's on the other side of the things you're probably putting off, those tasks that you absolutely should do that'll move you closer to your goals. That's where the magic is. The magic isn't in all this other stuff. And it's not to say that having a morning routine or doing breath work or meditation or focusing on your health and all these things don't hold a special place in your life and make it more likely that you might achieve your goals. It's just realizing that the one thing that's going to get you closer to your goals and achieving them more quickly is just doing the work, just spending the hours, spending the time, because when it's all said and done, the work just needs to be done. The sixth thing I'd go back and tell myself is this: more, better, new. More, better, new. When you're working on anything and it's starting to get results, anything within a business as well, you start running Facebook ads for your e-commerce store. You start doing cold email outreach to grow your agency and it starts working. Do it more, do it better before you do anything new. No, you don't need to start running TikTok ads. No, you don't need to start doing DM setting. Just focus on doing the thing that's working for you right now, more and better, and keep going through those. Do it more, create new ads, launch those ads, do it better, get better at creating those ads. And that's how you're going to start seeing results a lot more quickly. With all these business models, I'd get some early success with a particular method that I was learning from someone that I was following. And then I'd jump to something new. I'd start using cold email outreach to grow my agency, and it was working and it was getting me clients and booked appointments. And then I would swap to something else, or I'd say, oh, well, now that's working. Maybe I should run ads as well. No. Just do it more, just do it better. And then way down the track, do something new. You just don't even need to most of the time, just more and better. And so that's what I'd say to myself: more, better, new. What do I need to be doing right now? Just do what's working more and do it better before I even think about doing anything new. So once you've figured out what works, just do it more and better. If you don't know yet, then you need to follow someone that knows what they're doing so you can figure out what new thing you need to do to start getting the results. And the last one, number 7. If I could go back and talk to myself 5 years ago, I'd say to myself, you will do it. It's just how soon. Have that level of self-belief in yourself. Know that you will achieve it, and it's just a matter of how soon you will achieve it. Because what I've realized is that you have the choice at any time to completely believe in yourself or not at all. To have an optimistic mindset or be completely pessimistic and think nothing is going to happen to you in life. Both of those thought patterns change nothing about the reality of your life. So you might as well think optimistically. You might as well have this crazy self-belief thinking you can achieve anything. Have that level of delusion and it will help you. It helped me. As the crazy kid that thought I could make 100K my first month in business. I didn't do that, but I made 100K profit in my first year in business. I believed that I could sign clients with my agency having zero experience. And eventually I did. And I made 460K with building an SMMA. I believe that eventually I would find a winning product with e-commerce and I'd achieve financial freedom with it. And after 13 failed products, I did. And now I've made over $13.5 million with e-commerce. Have that belief in yourself and stick with it and follow these other principles. And I guarantee that you will achieve everything that you want in life. It'll happen. It's just how soon. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.